Welcome, in front of me is a Xiaomi Mi 9T, and today I'll show you a couple tweaks and tricks you can do on this device. So, starting off, we're going to begin with the color scheme, which will allow you to adjust the color temperature of the screen itself. So let's start by going into the settings and scroll down to display, color scheme, and there we go. So we have on standard, we also have the, we have the saturated, and then we have the standard, my bad. And then we also have the auto. Now, you do have the option to change it a little bit, to add it a specific kind of tint to it. So you can choose whichever one you want exactly. For some people, standard might be the go-to. Some others might like the saturated. Although, in my opinion, saturated sometimes looks a little bit too saturated. There are certain colors that just look unnatural and they almost glow. For instance, like the pinkish one right here. It's just too much, I would say. So, for some people, this might be better. Now, it does also make the display look a little bit more yellowish because of it, so that is something that you would have to deal with. But moving on to the next option, it's going to be the always on display, which allows you to set exactly how it sounds, an always on display. So let's start by going into the settings again, and then we're going to find the always on display right here and screen lock, and you have the screen or style right here. So you can choose what kind of always on display you want. And from there, let me go back to it actually. From there, just make sure that it is enabled right here. And when you lock the device, let's give it a second. There we go. You will have the always on display like so. So moving on to the next option, it's going to be the floating window, and this is just going to open up a small window which can move around. Now, best use for it, in my opinion, probably would be the YouTube application. So if you launch it, I do have internet, okay. So once you launch it, you can go into the recent, and actually we don't even need to do that. We can just tap on floating windows in recent and find it from here, I believe, somewhere. I can find it quickly. This doesn't seem to be organized alphabetically. Poses a little bit of a challenge, but I'm not gonna bother finding it. I'm just gonna open up something like, there we go, web browser. So as you can see, from here you have this window that you can move around. You can also hide it as I just did. Oops, oh, I just opened a different app. But yeah, you can move it around. It can stay on top of basically anything else that you open, and you can still interact with it fully. That's why I said it's probably best for YouTube. Now, to maximize it or minimize it, you want to grab the bottom bar, and you either make it full screen, like so, or you just swipe up to completely get rid of it. So moving on to the next option, this is going to be one for the people that just kind of need a little bit of assistance, I guess, using the device or are just visually impaired, which is the light mode. So if we go to the settings and scroll down to special features, we have light mode right over here. And what it does is basically makes everything bigger on the screen. So let's quickly turn it on. We'll relaunch it. As you can see, the apps are significantly bigger right now, and basically improves the usability of the device. Now, text inside is also bigger, as you can see, so you should have easier time using the device if you had a problem before. I'm gonna turn it off because for me it's a little bit confusing when it changes positions of everything. So there we go, now it's back to normal. Now going on to the last thing that I wanted to show, it's gonna be the second space, which basically allows you to set up a secondary space to your device. So let's go into the settings right here. Again, special features and second space. I'm gonna set it up right now. So right now it's switching to the second one. And I believe, there we go, yeah. So let's continue. Switch between spaces. Now we have two options of switching between them. So we have either using a password or using a shortcut. Shortcut meaning some kind of application shortcut on the desktop on your main space or a second space that will switch you between. Personally, I believe the using password is a little bit better. Set a password. Okay, let's set now. Now we do need to first confirm the existing one. So for the first space, so for me it was 1, 2, 3, 4. And now set pin for second space. 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm just gonna make it reverse in this case. Continue again, let's repeat it. There we go. Set fingerprint. I'm gonna set it up. So again, we need to confirm the first space in this case. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Scan second space finger. Okay, so I'm gonna start pressing my left thumb because for the first one I have my right one. I just go back. Oh, there we go. So when you're doing this, make sure you're reading what kind of space it wants, first or second. You should have two different kind of pins to it, so it is more secure, I guess. Yeah. And from here we can click on done and we're finished. So let's continue. And this is the second space, which you can gather by the wallpaper right here. So now if I lock the device and click on the button, if I use my right thumb, it will go into the first space, which you can see difference in the wallpaper. If I lock it again and use my left thumb, it will go to second space. Now both of those spaces are completely independent. All the apps that you install, for instance here, will not show up in the first space and vice versa. So if you install some kind of app on the second space, it will not appear here. Same goes for photos. So if we go into the gallery right now, you can see that there's literally no photos, right? If I open up camera, so I'm gonna capture a couple of photos. There we go, good enough. If I go into the gallery, there we go, there are photos now, right? So if I now lock the device, go to the first space and open up the gallery again. As you can see, the photos that I have just taken are not visible here. These are completely different ones. And also those were not visible in the first space as you've seen. So basically you have almost something like two different devices, just in one that are distinguished by just you unlocking it in a different way. So you can use either a different fingerprint or different pin, pattern, password to log into either one of those depending how you set it up. But that being said, this would conclude all the tweaks and tricks that I want to share. And if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.